So yeah, it looks like you'll get some good results out of taking the Paragon board that you were thinking about. Looks like you have plenty of nature magic going on. Yeah. The only nature magic spell I sort of like but sort of hate is the rolling boulder. It's really fun to use and funny, but if something's up against the wall, it kind of just hits once and dissipates. Or if you try and roll it down a corridor through a doorway, sometimes it just explodes even though it didn't hit a wall. So I kind of hate that one. I like almost all the other storm spells though, and earth spells. I guess the question is then, are you looking for something active or passive? Because I guess you could still take something else that might still work. Like, for example, even though the crows themselves aren't a nature spell, I guess you could use the vulnerable from when you use the activatable to call the crows down. I also never think it's too detrimental to have, you know, one spell outside the scope of what you're doing, because it still immobilizes, and that's really helpful. You know, if you've got anything that does extra damage to enemies that are hit by a control effect, then the Poison Creeper is still a great way to get a control effect on demand. And then you get all the bonuses associated with that, and it actually ends up doing a good job even if it's outside of the nature spells. Welcome back. I'm not sure if the previous bit where I was talking whether it reached you or whether you were away before I started saying about it, but I think the Vine Creeper could be okay still in your build for reasons that I listed. My streamer skills are a little bit on the lower side because I don't often get too many visitors into the chat. And so I'm not very practiced with like looking at the screen and then looking down at my phone and up again and everything else. And I'm always changing settings, so I don't even know if the stream looks great right now until I go back and look at the recording when I'm doing my recording for YouTube. I record that separately at a high quality so that everyone can see all this stuff later on. I really like the hurricane effect around yourself. I can't remember if it's called hurricane. I think it is. Because that's, you know, it's got a fairly decent cooldown on it, and you can fire it off and then forget about it until it's ready again a little while later. And anyone who approaches you is like 20% damage reduced if you decide to take that talent with it. That's always one of my go-tos. I actually spent quite a lot of time with the legendary effect that makes it so that when you cast Earth skills, there's a 20% chance to cast the equivalent free spell of the opposite nature school. And I really like that. I got an item that while I was aware there, it counted as storm skills or earth skills, and then the werewolf was the opposite. And yeah, it's kind of neat to just be a werewolf that fires out a load of earth spells and a bear that fires out a load of storm spells on a 20% chance. Yeah, Hurricane was the one I was mentioning, yeah. I like taking, as I said, the 20% damage reduction on it while any enemies are within it.
I won't last on my own.
Of course, if you're already winning, having the thing where it makes enemies vulnerable on a chance while they're in it, that one's also great. Hey, we completed it.
I think I can manage from here. Please, take this.
Sure, sure. You might have another idea along the way while you're getting there. I'm kind of glad that Bear has a lot of things that work. It's just a shame about some of the other specs aren't doing so well, I don't think. Oh, I didn't. I didn't do that at all. I just clicked on everything that said werewolf on it at the beginning of the game because I thought, well, that's my theme, and it's going to be cool, and I don't care what anyone else is doing, all these bears I'm seeing around, and I had a great time just going in blind and just picking up everything purple. I thought that was great fun. I would never do it over again where I'd read anything at the start, because seeing a game brand new is just brilliant. Because what I found really, really fun is when I finally did go to look at one of the other specs, and I read all the way through that next spec, it was almost like I'd brought an entirely new game. Because I didn't know what any of the rest of the stuff did. So it was amazing. It was like a magical adventure, a fresh start from level 1, but it wasn't, because I got to put all the points in immediately trying something new. That's really good at bosses, the werewolf. I do still like it for bosses. A lot. As soon as I could activate Grizzly Rage, that guy just fell over dead. It's a bit sad that I can't, like, pop out a level 1 trillion nightmare dungeon immediately on my werewolf, but I'll think of some more things to improve on him. Some effects that I need to take and some that I don't, and then we'll get back up there. We'll do the level 41, I think, Nightmare Dungeons again.